In today's video, Scott Coker says he's in talks with Nate Diaz to join Bellator. Joe Rogan reveals when he will leave the UFC. Sean O'Malley doubts Khamzat Chimaev will make 170 limit. Eddie Alvarez parts ways with one championship. Cris Cyborg supports Francis Ngannou in his UFC contract dispute. And Brendan Schaub slams Jose Aldo's team. Scott Coker says Bellator is in dialogue with Nate Diaz to join the promotion. According to Coker, who is currently in Dublin, Ireland for Bellator 285, the promotion was very quick to reach out in hope of potentially securing Diaz's services.
Well, we are definitely talking to him, and we've reached out, and I know he's probably talking to everybody. He's I think in a pretty good situation. I know he wants to fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul's fighting, against Anderson Silva on Showtime pay-per-view, which is our home network. So there's some synergies here. We're just hoping that we could have something, some type of a deal to at least have his MMA fights with Bellator. So we are in dialogue.
Would you guys like to see Nate Diaz joining the second biggest promotion in the US? Or do you think joining Bellator is not a good idea for Nate? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Joe Rogan has revealed that he has a clause in his UFC contract that will see him leave whenever Dana White goes. By now, Rogan is one of the longest tenured employees in the UFC. His first event was back in 1997 when Rogan debuted as a backstage interviewer at UFC 12. In the years since, he's become one of the most widely recognized faces of the company. Speaking on a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, the UFC commentator said this: "I'm a professional fan, but if Dana White leaves the UFC, I'm gone. That's in my contract." What do you think about Joe Rogan's comments? Who do you want to see replace the longtime commentator when he retires? And do you believe the UFC will be the same without Dana White and Rogan? Let us know in the comments below. Sean O'Malley believes Khamzat Chimaev won't be able to make the 170-pound limit after missing weight for UFC 279's fight with Nate Diaz. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Suga said, "I want to see him at 185 because even when he fought Gilbert Burns, he did the towel thing, lost 5 pounds. When was the last time Khamzat made 170 actually? Not the last 2 fights, so it's probably been over a year. I want to watch his next fight. I'm so curious who it's going to be. It can't be Colby Covington. He's not going to make 170, dude. I just don't see him. I don't even know if UFC will book him at 170. But it doesn't seem like he wants to go up to 185, which is kind of surprising because he is big and he is super skilled, and he's got to be confident. I don't know if he wants those fights up there. Those are big boys." O'Malley also questioned Chimaev's claims of the doctors halting his weight cutting process. "I've never in my 5 to 6 years in the UFC had a doctor come and check on me during weight cuts. I'm sure if they come look at me the last pound when I'm in the bathtub, they'd probably say to anybody, 'Whoa.' Like a doctor comes in, they're not used to seeing humans like that." Former UFC lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez is no longer with one championship and will now explore other options, which includes a possible boxing run. After a short 3-year stint, Alvarez himself announced this piece of news via Twitter. He wrote, "Confirmed, I am no longer with one. We parted ways amicably and I remain on good terms with the one team. I want to thank Chatri for the opportunity and I look forward to watching their continued success. I'm officially a free agent and ready to hunt. Tell me who's next. UGK." Alvarez inked a deal with one championship in 2018. He made his one debut in March 2019 against Timofey Nastyukhin in a 170-pound bout and lost via first-round TKO. Alvarez got back in the win column 5 months later against Edward Folayang, whom he defeated via first-round submission. It would be his only victory in the promotion. Cris Cyborg supports Francis Ngannou fighting for the opportunity to box in his next contract with the UFC. Speaking to Jimmy Smith on SiriusXM, Cyborg said that she 100% agrees with Ngannou and fighters should be allowed to take every opportunity to earn a big paycheck.
When I signed with Bellator, this is the deal. I said, when I want to box, you guys let me boxing. Yes, I agree with Francis Ngannou. Probably it's going to be great money when he's doing boxing. And then I believe you have to work with somebody who want to grow together. You will be a partner. No, somebody wanna own you. You cannot be allowed to do anything. You have to have the freedom. We work together. So I think you have to feel great, and I think the life is short, and then especially when you're athlete, our lifestyle is short. You have to really use the moment for make the most money you can, especially because we don't have the retirement. Fighter don't have the retirement. Yeah. You have to think about this in the future. So you have to do the best thing for you now, for your career. And I believe Francis Ngannou is right about what he's thinking about.
Brendan Schaub is disappointed Jose Aldo has called it quits on his UFC career after such an underwhelming performance against Dvalishvili at UFC 278. In the most recent episode of the Thick Boy podcast, Schaub said he wanted the former UFC champion to end his career on a high note and believes his team really f***ed up by accepting the Dvalishvili fight instead of angling for a bantamweight title shot.
The king of the... You know what I'm saying? The king, dude, of that division. The king, man. One of the absolute best. What's interesting about when you look at Jose Aldo's career, and he had this late surge, and I think retiring is probably the best move, because for him to get back to he's a guy who fights for championships, and, he had a rough patch from 2019, 2020, lost 3 in a row, right? He lost to Volkanovski, nothing to hang your head about. Marlon Moraes, and then Peter Yan. So then he goes on this 3-fight win streak. He beats Cheeto, Pedro Munoz, Rob Font. And you're like, oh, shit. And his team really f***ed up taking that Merab fight. He could have waited. And this was his last go, man. This was the finale. And then you toss him in there with this Merab character who's just a nightmare of a matchup for him, where he could have waited, probably got a title shot. They would have sent him off the right way. I would much prefer Jose Aldo to fight for the title and then retire. But now it's kind of sad.
Here are the top 3 funniest memes we found over the internet. Third place was found over Reddit and was posted by a user named Lenny Koopster. Second place was found over Facebook and was posted by a user named UFC Kink. And our top pick was also found over Facebook and was posted by a user named Michael Flores. Every day, we search the internet for the funniest MMA memes and post them to our fan page on Facebook called MMAmemes.com. If you want your meme to be included in our next video, just send it to us in private message on Facebook. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel to keep up with the latest MMA news.